All right. So thank you for joining us and happy to have you here today as well. Just a quick update on our fellowship and what has been going on. Um, uh, we now have already selected the mentors that will be having in our fellowship, where a mentor will be kind of guide and support that you'll be having one-to-one. So if you see here, we have the mentors list. If you see here the mail, I think here, given some students, you will see your mentor here. This is still in development because I think Abdul he just shared this one today. So if you have any issue, you can share with him and he will be able to update your mentor. And these mentors are our fellows. So we have first fellow cohort, we have second cohort, and then this is the third cohort. So these cohort are among some of our best students from the previous cohort, and they went through all this learning experience. So they are serving as mentors in a way that they can, because it's a kind of give back to community, something you guys as well one day, maybe next, you can be a mentor where you can help other people. Oh, how can I install this? How can I do this? I cannot install my Python, my BS code I cannot see, I cannot clone. Because you have passed this experience, you have passed this stage, it meant a lot, right? You have learned and you got the experience, and the best way to give back to community is to come and also help other students so that they can learn. So this is this one, and we also have our mentors for female list as well. That is that one. Another thing is we have updated our repository here. You can see, we have updated up to the dictionary and the recordings as well as the exercises that are expected. You can see, for example, here we did a dictionary, and this is the exercise. They go to the dictionary from our, module 6, and the good thing is you can, refresh the dictionary more. You can read more about that, and finally you can come down to, the exercises, and you can do the dictionary exercise, something like that, right? So this is something, as you can see, that will enhance, your skills. Just to remind you that we do, now assign the mentors, and we'll be tracking each and every individual submissions when you do your submission for your exercises, and that will means a lot. If you are not submitting on your time on the week we did the exercise, so before next week, for example, we expect each week when we discuss something, you have already finished that one. It's not like when we finish the cohort and you will just rush to finish everything. No, just take it small by small. You are doing and whatever. Today we'll be discussing this, and as well as usual, Falalu will take us through today again to this session of user handling input and other stuff. Yeah, but before we go again, I would like to, access some stuff here. Falalu, are you here with us? Okay, so I want us to
Yes,
go.
Doctor, I am.
All right. Okay, so I want us to go to Menti and just, select one of these options. This is a code for Menti. I will share in the chat. Yeah, I share in the link in the chat. If you go there. So now you have been working through this stuff, and we expect, for example, you started to having confident on Python programming skills. Were you able to set the link? I share.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so please just select something from here. That will give us an idea how learning,
Oh, okay.
Interesting. We have some people with the highest possible skills expectation 3. So this one, they are actually already Python programs. So I think maybe already know. See, some of you have prior experience, but you still attend the session. Anyway, so this is just to capture to try to see how your learning experience is. Seeing we have like 2, meaning like 15 people, they are progressing their skills. That's really awesome to see that many of you are getting better. But what I wanted just to tell you about one thing is that as you can see here, we have 15 people at the medium, we have 7 at the end, but we have 3 in 1, meaning like, they are not that confident. But trust your intuition. I just want to talk to you about something concept. That doesn't mean you cannot learn and become even like, better than these people, 8 people that put 3. So there is a concept that, all right, so this is it. So there is concept that I want to talk to you about it, which is mindset. There is something called 2 kind of mindset people do have. We have what we call fixed mindset, and then we have what you call, growth mindset. So if you have read this book, Mindset, the New Psychology of Success, you'll understand what I'm saying. But I just want to give you a brief outline of what these 2 concepts are: fixed mindset and, the growth mindset. So in fixed mindset, someone believes that ability aesthetic are not changed. For example, somebody will say, oh, I cannot learn programming. It's so hard. You mean that you have a fixed mindset. Everybody is born with, talent to learn. You can learn anything. Nobody like that is not like it's natural, like, just gifted in the, in this intuition. Everyone can learn anything new. So if you have a fixed mindset, then you will not be able to learn new things. You'll not challenge yourself. And people with fixed mindset, what they have is that they don't want other people to see they fail. So they avoid challenges. They avoid to challenge themselves, and they just give off and they're without improving themselves. So this is very concept that does not allow people to grow. But growth mindset, people that believe that, intelligent, or they can learn through learning. They can practice. They don't care if they fail. Let everyone, laugh at them, they fail. But to them, failure is, learning pace, is something they can, move in, through. And that's the only way to learn is through feedback, through failure, because failure is a kind of stepping stone to, to better yourself. So this is what we call growth mindset. So what I wanted all of you, I can see some people, they have 3 that they feeling like good. Some they are having 1, like they are feeling, don't have fixed mindset that, you cannot grow. Just feel like, you are just learning, and one day you will learn. So the key lesson to that is that success is not just about talent, but also hard work and perseverance. Nobody will tell you, like, you can tell anyone like, oh, you are. No, if you want to be good at something, just keep doing it. Yeah, that's just the only success. We are good at what we repeatedly do. That is all. We are good at what we repeatedly do. So if you want to be good at Python, also just be doing it every day, like, constantly, then you'll have, better understanding. And finally, students can achieve more by adopting growth mindset, seeing learning as a journey. So don't feel like learning as something that you want to get a. That's why we don't care about giving any class or something, but like as a journey. Fail fast. Meaning, if you don't understand something, just tell everybody, oh, I don't know this. Can you tell me? Fail fast and then recover and go back. If, for example, you didn't mention you didn't know, and now in 2 days, 2 weeks, you are already left behind. Some people have already passed. So try to fail as soon as possible if you don't understand, and then you can learn from there. So this is just like, something that I just want to pass to you in terms of learning. There is no way that somebody will say he is gifted or nobody is talented. No, don't have a fixed mindset that you can never be somebody, you can never learn anything. Everyone, if you put growth mindset, you will learn everything. So thank you very much for joining our today's session for this bit of intro. And now I will leave the floor to this, Dr. Falalu to take over. And for people that may be interested in this book, we will share this book called Mindset, and you can be able to read it. It's really, really interesting book about, how this mindset concept is. So Falalu, you can take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for this wonderful information. So let me share my screen as usual. So welcome, everyone. So today we are going to delve into one of the important function in Python. We've been using print function and to print output to the user so that the user can get what is going on inside his computer. And today we'll delve in and start using input function and possibly while loops. Remember, we are done with for loop. We use for loop to generate different things. So we will start with the example we've given in our previous lecture. We talk about voting. We use if function to test whether a person is eligible for voting or not. So what if you are developing an application to allow users to input data for themselves? Maybe you will allow them to input the age for themselves so that the system can decide whether they are eligible or not. So input function is very, very important. We've been using it in many different apps because it allows users to input data through the system. So today, we have so many things to cover, but let's first take this example. Just imagine someone wants to know if they are eligible to vote, as I said, then how can you help as a programmer? Maybe to write a simple program for them. Maybe it is a school, you are a student, then you want to develop an application for them. Necessarily command line application, it can be a mobile application. So how can you do that? Definitely you will create a form so that the users will input their information. So this is what we are treat today. So by the end of the lesson, users will be able to accept user input, that is input from the user, and work with it in the program. Okay. So by the end of this chapter, you will be able to accept user input. You will write a program that will allow users to type something so that you will use the data later in the program. Then you will also be able to prompt the user for a single input, such as name, age, etc. Then collect series of input from the user. Maybe you will allow users to input number of data at a time, at a go. So we are going to use the input function. So input function is very important. It's as important as the print function because we know that computer accepts input from the user, then it processes the input, then gives the output. So these are some of what we are going to discuss today in addition to while loops. We have already treated for loop. So how the input function works. So the input function works this way. You will be prompted with a text. The text tells you what to do. For example, as you can see here in this screen, tell me something, and I will repeat it back to you. So you will see the cursor here waiting for the user to type something. So as you can see here, the user types hello everyone. Then the computer repeated hello everyone. So this is how it works. The computer grabs this data, then it processes the data according to the instruction of the programmer. So the programmer just wanted to grab the data and then bring the data back to the user, as you can see here. So how is the syntax looks like? How does the system syntax looks like? So this is how the syntax of input function. So look at it. We have input, then we have the bracket, then we have the information that we want to display to the user so that the user will know what to input. So if you want the user to input anything, you can say, tell me something, and I will feed it back to you. So you can type anything, be it number, be it string, be it anything, anything, you can just type it here. Then this input will return some value here. So it will grab the input by the user, then it will store the result in this variable message. Then later in the next line, we print that message here. Remember, some functions do not return anything, while others return. So let's see this one. Let's run this one. So when we run this, you can see at the top, the cursor waiting for us to type something. So let me type hello world. I type hello world. Then I see hello world, because here I don't need to further process the data. I'll just want to bring the data back to the user. So that's it. It's very, very simple to use input function. Some functions do not return anything. Like, let's say we have message 2. Let's call it message 2. Then let's write print, for example, a write message like this. So remember, we already have hello world stored in this message. So let me do this and say print. So print message 2. So look at what we have. You see, we have none here. We have none here. That's print message is not from this message. It's not from this. So it's just this one that was printed but didn't return anything. That's why we have message 2. We have none here because this has nothing, because the function print does not return anything. To just do its job and just leave the rest to the program. So some text editors won't run program that prompt users for input, for example. So you can use these editors to write programs that prompt for input. You will need to run this program from a terminal. See running this. So when we go to page 11, I will maybe we'll shed more light about this. So writing clear prompt when using input function. By prompt, we mean what is displayed here. That's the prompt here. So you are prompting the user some kind of information. so that the user will know what to do. So how do we write a clear prompt? So each time you use input function, you should include a clear, easy to follow prompt that tells the user exactly what kind of information you are looking for. Which means if you are looking for name, tell the user to type any name. If you are looking for first name, tell the user that input your first name. If you need full name, type, please enter your full name. So your information should be as clear as possible. Then any statements that tells the user what to enter should work. So you can just write any statement. Enter num1, for example. Enter first number. Enter last number. Say you want to generate a number of maybe even numbers from a particular number to another number, for example, using maybe a range or using any other things that we have already covered. So write a clear statement and telling the user what you want. So you can enter anything. Then let's see this example. This example tells the user to input his name. Please enter your name. So the user will input his name, not his brother's name, not his mother's name, not his next of kin's names, and etc. So let's run and see this. So you see, please enter your name. Press enter to confirm or escape to cancel. So let's write Mariam. So you see here, Mariam is stored in this variable name. Then here we use print function to print this information. Hello, go to the next line, meaning go this /n means go to the next line. Don't just print it. Go to the next line and print hello. Then you print the name provided by the user. Then put exclamation mark afterward. So when we run, this is what we see. Hello, Maria. So if you like, you don't need to necessarily print. You can do some other processes here. Maybe you want to display the first character here. Maybe you can use indexing. Maybe you put 0 there. You can make any other things here. You can do a thing that interests you, depending on the context you are writing your application. So sometimes you will want to write a prompt that's longer than one line. Sometimes you need to write very lengthy information. For example, you might want to tell the user why you are asking for certain information. Imagine someone creating a survey. So he will tell you the information about the survey, then he will grasp that information that interests him. So you can assign your prompt a variable instead of just writing the information in the function. Then you can create a variable, assign the information in the variable, then you create, you type the input function, then you supply that variable here. So here we have this prompt here, the first line. Then second line, we have this /n, which means go to the next line and concatenate this information to the previous one. So this one will be interpreted as concatenation. You are just merging the first text here with the second one in the same variable. So here, we supply the variable here. So if we like, we can just type this text inside this, but it is advisable to use this because the text is lengthy. So when we run this, look at what happens. So you see, if you are If you share your name, we can personalize the message you see. Type your first name. So let's write Muhammad and press enter. So you see, hello, Muhammad. So let's see, before we come to this, let's see something. Let me write number like this. My prompt is, maybe let's call it enter a number. Then I will just print that number. Let's print that number. So let's run this. So when I run this, you see enter a number. So let me type 2 and press enter. So you see we have 2 here, but let me check. What do you think the type of this variable will be if I ask for the type? It should be
Yes. A string.
Okay, let me see the chart. Yes, people are saying string. Yes. Yes, some says int, some says, but majority says string. So if you are familiar with type languages like C, C++, Java, you will see that when you want to define a variable, when you want to define a function, there are so many things that you supply. For example, you can supply the access specifiers, whether the visibility of that function, maybe it is private or public, then the return type, the type of data that that function will return. Then we have the name of the function, then the parameters that the function will accept. So some functions do not return anything. For example, we saw print function that return nothing. We also saw the function sort. Sort do not return anything, but sorted return something. It will return the list that has been sorted. So this function input returns something, and the type of that data returned by this function is of string. So let's see, when we use type and we supply this variable, NO, number. So when we run this, look at the type. So the type is string, which means the type of data returned by NO, by input function, is not calculative data. Calculative data is kind of data that you can perform mathematical or arithmetic operation on it. For example, your address is not calculative data because you can't add your address with someone else's address. Your name is not calculative data because you can't add it to your father's name to give you something. They are not calculative. But maybe 2 and 2 are calculative. When you add them, it will give you 4. When you multiply them, it will give you 4 again. When you subtract, it will give you 0. So, which means here, when I say NO plus NO, what do you think will be the answer? Let me use print. So when I run this, what do you think will be the answer? Because here the user supplied 2, and that 2 is stored here. So when I say NO plus NO, what will be the answer? Let's see from the chart. 22, 2. Yes, very good. Yes, definitely, because this is a string, this is a string. So instead of this one can be overloaded. This operator can be overloaded. It can be used as addition to add numbers. It can also be used as to concatenate values. We understand. So here, because this one is string and this one is string, so this one will act as concatenator operator. So it will just concatenate 2 and 2 here. So we have 2, we have 2 here. So when we run, we will get 2, 2, as you can see. So what if this is not our intention? Maybe we want user to give any 2 numbers so that we can add them. So how do we deal with that? So we introduce int function. So int function accept numerical input. When our intention is to accept numbers, so we use this function int together with the input function. Let's see this example again. Here we ask the user to input how old he is. So we have this information. Let's run this. So when we run, we see that how old are you? So let me write, I am 17, so let me write 17. So you see, we have 17 here in quotes, but if you use print, it will give you just 17 without the quote. So that's the difference. So you see that this one is string. When you use type, it will tell you that this is string. Because this is string, the type of this data is string, or the class of this variable is of class string. So when you try to compare the value stored in the variable with another number, it will give you an error. So when we run, this is what we get. This symbol not supported between insert of string and int. So both of this side must be either float or int for it to work. So that's why we are getting this error when we use comparative operators. So even if we use greater than, less than, any comparative operators here will give you error. So how do we deal with this information? So to deal with it, you have to borrow this function. Input, you supply your variable, then this function will pass or convert the type of this to integer type. We understand. So that's the use of this function. It will just convert the type of this variable to another type here, int. So yeah, as you can see here, the return type is integer. You see, this function int returns integer. It will take this x stands for any value. Then we have the base as another parameter that we can supply. If we need base 2, then we can supply any base. So here is base 10, just the numbers we use for our everyday life. So, but it will return integer. That's the point here. So now this one has been converted to integer. So now we can compare both values, the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So when we run this, it will give us false here because it's false because the ages I imputed was 17. And here we ask, is 17 greater than or equals to 18? Is false because 17 is not greater than 18 and is not equals to 18. That's why we are getting false here. So what if we put something like 21, for example. So let's rerun this. So we get true, because here we ask, is 21 greater than or equals to 18? Yes, 21 is greater than 18. So which means this is true. So how do we use our input int function in actual program? How do you use it? Maybe you want to write a program for your school, or maybe you have a client that you want to write a program for him. So how do you use it in the actual real life program? So consider this program that determines whether people are tall enough to ride a roller coaster. So the first line grabs the user information. So it asks the user, how tall are they in inches? So you see, this is clear prompt because it tells the user what to input and in what form, in what unit. So the unit should be inches. So the user is not expected to write in meters. So the next line converts the data supplied by the user into integral form. So even if the user use some values with the decimal points, then the floating point part will be discarded by this function. It will definitely be discarded by the function. It will just return integer. So if we have 71.2, it will just return 71 because it's not a float. So if we intend to get floating point numbers, so we use another function called float. So in the next line, we use if. Remember the syntax of if. We have the if, then we have our test, conditional test here. Then if this condition is true, then this will be printed. Otherwise, if the condition is false, then this line will be printed. So let's run and impute 71. Yes, you see, you are tall enough. I am definitely told. So what do we need to remember when doing all of this? So whenever you are using this, whenever you want to get numerical information from the user, you should always remember to use numerical input to do calculations and comparison. Otherwise, you will get an error. If the data you are going to use is calculated data, then you have to use numerical input. So sometimes you can merge input and int at the same time. For example, you want to get an age. So you can write age, then you have the assignment operator, then you have int, then you have input in it, then you have the message or the prompt. Maybe enter your age, for example. So you can do it, you can do this at the same time. So here, this function will get the input from the user. Then it will store the information there. It will not leave there until the information is there. Then this information will be grasped by the input function. So here, the class of this variable will be int. As you can see here, variable age is int because of this function. So the system is clever enough to know this. So you can just go ahead and make any comparison if you want. For example, like this, when we run this, sorry, what do I have? I did something wrong. invalid literal int. Okay, yeah. Here, instead of putting input, then I put int. So when I do this, so you see, so I can type my age 21, then I have your age is 21. So you can do this. So if you ask the type of this age, it will tell you int. So here we will not get any error, even if we didn't use this, because we didn't make any calculation. Then another operator that we want to discuss about is modulo operator. So modular means just a remainder. So the modular operator with this symbol, so this is the symbol of modular operator. It gives you the remainder when one number is divided by another. For example, 10 modulus 3 will give you 1, because if you keep subtracting 3 from 10, if you subtract 3 for the first time, the remainder will be 7. When you subtract 3 again, the remainder will be what? 4. When you subtract 3 again, the remainder will be 1. So it will just give you the remainder until the remainder is no longer equals to greater than or equals to 3. That's what it does. So you can use modular operator to determine if a number is even or odd. Very simple. Because if number is exactly divisible by 2, it means that the number is even, otherwise it is odd. So let's see this. These are some of the examples. Question? Someone's trying to ask question? So look at this. The first example asks for 4 modulus 3. So when you subtract 3 from 4, what's the remainder? The remainder is 1. So you keep subtracting until the remainder is greater than or equals to, or is less than or equals to, less than 3, less than this. So you keep subtracting until the remainder is less than the number you are subtracting. Then you give the result. So like this one, you subtract 3 from here, you have 2. Like here, you subtract 3, the remainder is 3. Can we subtract 3 again? Yes. So the remainder is 0. So here we have 7. We subtract 3, the remainder is 4. Can we subtract 3 from 4 again? Yes. We can subtract 3. What's the remainder? 1. So that's why we have these values. So the modular operator is very, very important. For example, in a real world application, apart from checking the number is particular, is even or odd, you can use modular operator to separate money, for example. For example, you will be, the user may be prompted with a 3-digit number. So you can ask how many hundreds are there, how many tens, how many units. So you can use this modular operator to do that. So let's run this line and see. What this line does is it asks the user to enter a number, and the system will tell you if it is even or odd. So you see, this line gets the input from the user. This line converts the number, the input into integer, then stores again back to that variable we stored this number. So we are overwriting what is stored in that variable with this new value provided by the input or written by the int function. Then here we check if the number is divisible by 2. If it is exactly divisible by 2, then we say that the number is even. Otherwise, we say that the number is odd. Very simple, yes? So we just give any number randomly. So let's type. So I type 3,567. So is this number odd or even? Let's see from the listeners. Is this number even or odd? I don't know, maybe.
Odd number, sir. Odd
Is odd
number.
number. Okay, is odd number, definitely. So we see the number is odd because when you want to check whether a number is even or odd, you can look at the last digit. If the number is 0 or even, it means that the number is even. If the last number is 1 or odd, so it means that the number is odd. So this one is odd because last number is odd. So it means that the whole digit is odd number. So is there any question before we proceed to the while loops? Okay, let's go quickly to the while loop. Yes. Yes, Mujahid.
Sir, my question is, the first statement you used to write there, like, please, can you just go back? Yes, there where you wrote enter a number and I will tell you if it's even or odd. Does it used to come automatically, or you as a user, you need to like input the statement?
Yes, this is the direction, is prompt. You are telling the user. That's why when I run this, you will see the prompt here. It's just the information telling the user what to do. You see, can you see it here at the top? Enter a number, and I will tell you if it is even or odd. That's the information here.
Okay, so that means you are directing this statement to where you are going to write the number.
No, you are writing this statement to tell the user what to do. For example, if you are trying to buy data using USSD, or maybe you type with OPay, you can type 955 hash, then it will give you some kind of information that you reply with something. Maybe you reply with 1, you will see 1. Then they will tell you when you reply with 1, this is what you are going to do. When you reply with 2, this is transparent to this. When you reply with 3. So these are the kind of information. So if you reply with 1, you know that. So you know what to do. So this is just a direction. You are telling it's just a command telling the user what to do. So the command here is enter a number. So the user will not enter his name. He will just enter a number. Then the system will tell him or tell her the number is even or odd. Get it? So if I type, so it will tell me that this is even.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Imran.
Yes, sir. Sir, why in the input where you say enter a number and I will tell you if it is even or odd, but in the prompt, when you click on it in the prompt where it will show you to put a number, there is addition of command. So that addition, is it automatic from the system?
Yes, it's from the system. If you use another text editor, you will not see that.
Okay, sir.
Yes, that one is added by the VS Code.
Okay.
So if you use another interpreter, you will not see that.
Okay, because it is written either you confirm or cancel.
Yes. So that additional information is provided, this one in bracket is provided by this IDE.
Thank you, sir.
So I type cancel. So this is what I get.
Thank you.
So let's move on. So let's go to the while loop. So while loop is another type of loops. Apart from for loop, if you are familiar with other programming languages, you know that there are different kinds of loops. We have for loop, and we have for each loop, we have do while loop, then we have while loops, Then we have a repeat until, I think, yes, with Visual Basic. There are different kinds of loops we have. So here in Python, we don't have do while, but we have while and for loop. So for loops, what it does, it takes collection of items and execute a block of code once each item's in the collection. In contrast to while loops, so for loop, we have collection. We can say for item in items. You see, for example, so it takes collection of items, then it will just execute. But while loops is different. While loops run as long as or while certain condition is true. Like this. Here, what we did is we have a variable we call current number. The current number, maybe you have account. So the current balance in the account maybe is 1. So maybe you want to check your account, whether there is additional things, then you check. If this, then keep informing me. If this, or maybe you have an alarm that you said, please ring at this time, then here we'll check. Is the time equals to this? If it's true, then do this. If not, then go out of the loop. So this is it. So actually, when you use this diamond symbol, there should be 2 outputs here. So I should have used another, maybe I will update it. There should be another output here. When the condition is false, then it will follow here. So I will make a correction to this because we have a single output here. So definitely there must be a 2 output from this. If the condition is true, we follow this direction. If the condition is false, we follow another direction. So let's see this example. It's as simple as ABC. So we have this variable, we assign 1. Then here we check. This is just like checking point. Is the current value, or is the value stored in the current number less than or equals to 5? If it's less than or equals to 5, so let's see, is it equals to, is 1 less than or equals to 5? It's true. So it will just follow this. It will just display this number. Then here it will increment by 1. It will increment current number by 1. It will just add 1 to the current value. So when we dry run this one, here 1 will be displayed, yes? Because we say display. Just display this means print. So print what is stored in this number. So what is stored in this number is 1, yes? So 1 will be printed. So it will increment. Here is another command which says, or statement which tells add 1 to the current number. Go to this variable and add 1 to the current content, current value. So this one, previously we have 1. So the next value will be 2. So it will just come here and check again. Is 2 less than or equals to 5? Yes, it's true. Then it will just print current number, which is 2. Previously we have 1, now we have 2. So we have 1, 2. Then it will increment this one by this number by 1. So this one by 1. So we have 3 here. Then you should check. Is 3 less than or equals to 5? Yes, it's true. Then it will just print the current number. So we have 1, we have 2, then we have 3. Then it will increment current number by 1. Now current number is 4. Then it will come here and check. Is 4 less than or equals to 5? Yes, it's true. 4 is less than 5. Then it will print the number. So we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, and we have 4. Now we increment current number by 1. So now current number is 5. So is 5 less than or equals to 5? True or false? Is 5 less than or equals to 5? Hmm?
True.
True, yeah.
True.
Yes. So it will display 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then it will come here and increment again. Now we have 6. Current number is 6 because previously we have 5. So now we check. Is 6 less than or equals to 5? True or false?
False.
So it's false. So 6 is not equal to 5.
False.
6 is not equals to 5. So this condition is false. So instead of following this route, then the computer will follow the false route here. So it will just get out of the loop. So this is counter control loop. We call it counter control loop. So it is or it's not counter because we don't have count. Yes. Yes. I think I have forgotten. So this is the replica of this one. We are
Sir, does that mean the current number should be equal to 5?
yes, no, it's equals to 6 now because
No, what I mean from the sketch you have in the blue rectangular, why you put current underscore number is equal to 1. I mean, does that mean you are going to make correction to make it equal to 5?
no. Here we are starting at 1. First, you can assign any number here.
Okay.
We want to, let's say we want to display numbers from 1 to a given number provided by the user. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Let me do something here. Oh, can I do it under? Let's say we have limit here. Limit. Now, I ask user to impute a number. For example, let's say enter. Let's say the user wants to, you ask maybe the system you develop is to generate even numbers from 1 to n numbers. So let's say enter the last number or the last number. Yes, the last number. Enter the last number you want to get maybe even or the last even. Let's call it enter the last even. The last even. So let's do this. For example, let's say maybe you want to display even numbers from 0 to that number. So here, the user will impute any number like 100, like 8, whatever. Now, how do we generate the even numbers? So we can use many things. There are lots of ways to print. So we can use list if we want. Maybe we can say even, for example. So we can do this. Now we can say n. Yes, for n in range limit, for example, like this. So if n modulus 2 is equals to 0, like this. So because this limit is not inclusive, if the user impute 10, so 10 is not there. It's not inclusive there. So let's start with 0. Then we put limit plus 1. Now we print even here. So when we run this, okay, there's an error, maybe. Okay, yeah, there is no error. So let me write 20. So you see, now you see, we allow user to impute data here. So now I have the list. So later, the user can type anything. If the user decided to type 39999 like this, that is 39,999, then you can just type it. Now we get the list here. So that's the power of input function. You just allow user to impute anything. So here we are starting with the current value. Then the value keeps changing as the program runs. So that's why we call this variable, because as you run the program, then the values in the variable, that is why it is called variable. The values in it changes as you go. So here it changed to another thing. Then we go here and check, it changed to another thing. So let's see this example. So here we have the current value here. So always when you are using while loop, use if you are testing the variable here, so declare it first, otherwise you will get an error because you have to declare variable before you use it. So in programming, in most cases, you have to declare a variable before you use it. You can't use what you don't have. So here we declare a variable, we assign 1, then here we check. Is 1 less than this? This is inside the loop here. Because look at the indentation. So anything here is under the while loop. So as long as this condition is true, then these lines under the while loop will be executed. So when we run this is what we have. So the first time we have 1 is 1 less than or equals to 5. Yes, it's true. Then it will print 1. Then it will increment 1, the current number by 1. Then it will go to the loop again. So this is how it works. If I can maybe I can annotate, I can do this. So first it will check. It's just like let's say we have RAM here. This is our RAM. So RAM, we have this current number. So I don't need to type the name. So for the first time, we have 1 here. We assign 1 to it. So when we assign 1 to it, so we come here and check. If this 1 is 1 less than, sorry, my pen stopped working for no reason. So it stops working, I don't know. So we check, is 1 less than or equals to 5, which is true, then it will just print 1, yeah. No, it's not working. So I don't know what to do. It's stopped working. I want to annotate, but it stopped working. So let's go. Let me just clean it. Since you don't want to work. Or let me try to redraw again. So we have 1, okay, and now it's working. So is 1 less than or equals to 5? Is it true or false? It's true. So if it is true, then it will print 1. So it will just print 1 here. Then next time, here says you have to increment this variable by 1. So this one will be cancelled. So now we have 2 because previously is 1. So we check the condition again because our variable is now 2. So we check is this less than or equals to 5. If it's true, and it is, then we have 2 here because this line says print the current number. So the current number is now 2. Then the next line says that we increment the current number by 1. So now the current number is 3. Okay, it's now 3. So now we check. Is 3 less than, less than or equals to 5? And it's true. Therefore, if it's true, it will enter this low, and this line says print current number. So current number is 3. So 3 will be printed. So next line says that we increment current number by 1. So now the current number is 4. Then from this is how it works, is to just come here and check. So now the current number is 4. Is 4 less than or equals to 5? The condition is true. 4 is less than 5. Therefore, this line says print current number. So we print what? We print 4. Then this line says we increment current number by 1. So we cancel this and we increment by 1. Now current number is 5. Then it will come and check again. Is current number less than or equals to 5? What is the current number? Current number is 5. So is 5 less than or equals to 5? Yes, 5 is not less than 5, but 5 is equals to 5. So the condition is true. Therefore, it will enter into the loop. So the loop says we print current number. So current number is 5. So 5 will be printed. So 5 will be printed. Now this line says increment current number by 1. So now current number is no more 5, it's now 6. So it will come here and check the condition again. So is 6, so is 6 less than or equals to 5? The condition is false. 6 is not less than 5, and 6 is not equals to 5. So neither this condition is true. So it's false. So if it's false, it will just get out of the loop. It will just move. Instead of running this, it will just come directly to this and continue with the rest of your code if you have one. So do we understand? So this is how it works. So now let's kill in this. So 1 to 5 will be printed. So I hope you understand. It's now clear. So letting the user when to quit. Sometimes when you write while loop, the loop will keep going. You will like the user to type something so that you can quit. Just like when you are working with USSD on your phone. When you type star something, some numbers, then hash, you will see that reply with 1 for to load recharge card. Reply with 2 to do this. Reply with 3 to do this. Then at the end, you will either see nest or type so number to quit. So this is a similar example. So here we have the prompt. So when we run this, here is the condition. The condition says, while message is not quit, keep doing this. Whatever the user type, just print it here. Keep getting input from the user and print it, as long as what the user type is not this word quit. This is very important. In the real life program, you may like user to impute a number, for example. Maybe you want the user to type fin, and the fin is in integral form. So if the user keep typing string, then you can keep asking the user to type the number until he types string. Or maybe you want to ask the user to impute the password. Maybe you have the password here. Maybe you grab the password from the database. So as long as the password provided by the user is not equals to what we have at hand, then keep asking the user to type the password. So it can work that way. So this one will keep asking user for the input as long as that input is not quit. So when the user types quit, then the program will end, or the loop, this loop while loop will end. So let's run and see this one and type. So I am instructed to type, tell me something, and I will feed it back to you. So I will just type anything. So hello listeners. Hello listeners. So hello listeners. So you see, I have hello listeners, then it keeps asking me. Hello programs. So it asks me again. So goodbye. So it keeps asking me. So, but let me write quit. Now the program or the loop quit. So I get out of the loop based on this condition. So this is how it works. So this program works well, except that it frames the word quit as if it were the actual message. So that's the problem here. We write quit, but look at quit is printed instead of printing only this information. So
Hello, sir.
here is yes.
Sir, but like if you take for a recharge card like for MTN or Airtel,
Yes.
you normally be prompted with message like press 1 to do this, press 2 or 3 to do that. So by here,
You
in this
can,
case, we are using string.
yes, you can do the same here. What you
Okay.
just need to do is to have series of maybe you can have only one input. For example, if you write, let me say let's say reply. So when we have this reply, let's say I have int like this, then I have input like this, then I have let's say a reply with let's say /n 1 to load airtime, then /n 2 to by data, then /n 3 to what? Not to complain, what? Or to transfer data. Transfer data. So let's leave it like this. Okay, let's 4 to quit, for example. So look at this. So look at this. So when we run this, look at what we have. So here you will not see it like that, but when you run it in some compilers, you will see them line by line. This one, oh, my charge. So I'm running out of charge. So when you run this, maybe in your command line, you will see how this works.
Hello everyone. I can see Falalu runs out of charge, but I think it's always already time. Maybe we can continue with the session on tomorrow. But what I wanted to say is that I was just wondering if you are reading the book chapter before we discuss, because in the book chapter it's really, really simple way for you to understand. So if you really want to understand this concept much better, I will highly recommend that you guys should be reading the books so that you will have a better understanding and intuition. If you haven't been reading the book, please do as much as possible to be reading it. Without much further ado, I think we can close the session today because it's already time, and we can continue tomorrow, inshallah. And yeah, see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao.
Okay.